Morning, everyone. Father Pat here, coming to you again digitally on this Palm Sunday. And I just wanted to share a brief reflection about this very familiar story of Jesus' entrance into Jerusalem. As I reflect on that story, I can't help but think of how much courage Christ must have had despite this chaos around him. I mean, here he is going into Jerusalem, knowing that these people who are cheering him, who are praising him, who are calling for him to become king, are going to be the same people that in about a week are going to be cheering and praising and calling for him to be crucified. Now, how much humility Jesus must have had in that moment. He doesn't walk away. He remains unyielding. He shows a tremendous amount of courage. And I think it's this model of Christ that we can really look to and can really speak to us in our current situation. As we all know well, because of this coronavirus crisis, we've been on lockdown. And so it's affected our religious experience. Right, we can't go to Mass like we once used to, can't come and mingle with our church friends. We can't do the usual Lent stuff that we look forward to every year, the Stations of the Cross, the Holy Hours, whatever it might be. Even our charitable works have been affected. Can't do the food pantry like we used to. We can't volunteer at the local community center or even up here at the church. I know it's been hard on a lot of people. It's certainly been hard on me. But one of the good things that have come out of this is that it's really forced us to build up the domestic church. You know, when we speak about the church, we really speak about it in 4 different levels. The first is kind of the universal church, with the Pope and all of those bishops that are in union with him. The second is that local diocesan church, which of course for us is the Archdiocese of Mobile. So all the churches within that, and Archbishop Rodi as our head. And then of course you have your local parish church, which for almost all of us is Holy Name of Jesus, which you come to on a weekly basis. But the 4th level, the smallest level, is the domestic church, which is that church we build at home. And you see, it's this church that serves an utmost importance in our salvation. As the Catechism tells us, the domestic church is that first school of the faith, where we come to know, to love, and serve the Lord. And you see, the stronger that our domestic churches are, the stronger all the other churches are. You see, they all play on each other. They all help each other to grow and grow closer to Jesus Christ. Now, because of our circumstances, it's really forced us to kind of have this gut check on the domestic church, which, if we're honest, we probably needed it. You know, every now and then I'll do marriage counseling, and one of the first things that I'll have the couples do is have one of them lead us in prayer, kind of in an impromptu prayer. Whenever I do that, there's always kind of this awkward pause that sets in around the room. Because despite being married 10, 20, 30 years, most couples haven't prayed with each other in this kind of way. They haven't shared that part of their life with each other. The point I'm trying to make is that it's hard to build up the domestic church. And I speak especially to the men who might be listening to me. Now, for one reason or another, it's particularly hard for us to take that leadership role, to kind of be seen as a religious or the spiritual one in the family. And this is where I really think we can look to Jesus and the example that he shows us during Palm Sunday. Because we have to have a certain amount of courage in order to lead that domestic church. In order to bring faith into our home, we have to muster that fortitude within ourselves and be willing to stand firm, to not retreat, just as Jesus did. You know, despite the jeers and the moans that we might receive from our kids, despite the weird looks we might get from our spouse, we have to be willing to take up that challenge. As St. Paul says to the Corinthians, we must be willing to be fools for Christ. In other words, we have to step out of that comfort zone. We have to be willing to enter into the awkwardness of the moment. And this week of Holy Week is a great opportunity to do just that, to mimic that model of Jesus Christ. Of course, you won't be alone in all of this. The rest of the levels of the church all have your back. In fact, here, your local parish, we will be producing all kinds of things to help you build up the domestic church. And you can go to our website, www.hnjcatholic.com, to access all of this stuff. Again, we'll post it on Facebook and I sent out an email for those that we have email on file for. But if not, if you'd like it, just email me at the church and I can get you all of it. Anyway, we'll have these pamphlets, these guides to kind of keep Holy Week holy. We'll also be producing these home liturgies that you could lead your family in throughout those 3 holy days of the Triduum. Added to that, we'll be providing some live stream content. We'll do a live stream Holy Hour on Holy Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We'll also be producing Stations of the Cross from our church. I'll read the stations that we usually do and use images from the church. And then we'll live stream Easter Sunday Mass at 10 a.m. for anyone to view. We'll be doing all of this on YouTube because it's easier to access. You don't need a membership or anything like that. Added to that, we've signed up for a subscription to formed.org. Again, it's really easy to access. You just go to the website, formed.org. You click sign up. It'll ask you if you belong to a parish church, so you will click that. You type in our zip code to find our church, and then you put in your name and your email, and you're in. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really simple. And again, if you want to email me or call me, I could definitely walk you through it. Formed.org has all these resources, videos, and stuff that you can use to help build up your family in faith. So I really hope that you use this opportunity this week. It's a special time in the calendar in which we can grow closer to the Lord. And so I would encourage you to really take advantage of all of these things. Again, you can call me or email me if you need any help with this. And please know that I'm praying for each and every one of you. And I ask that you please pray for me. So God bless and have a holy, holy week.